Welcome to WRPB and WRPB Studios. Okay, so the world is such a small place, and years ago, there was a movie that came out, 6 Degrees of Separation. And I believe that God has changed that to 3 degrees of separation and connects you with people that are kind of on the same level with you. Even though you're super far apart in what you do, your belief system becomes one and the same. And with me is Raphael, Maga, junk removal.
Correct.
I get that right?
Yes, sir.
I try to get it early because I'm old, so I forget some of that stuff.
No, that's fine.
So before we go anywhere, I want to thank you for your service. You were in the Marines.
Appreciate your support.
Okay, and I know that I get to do what I get to do because of people like you.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about MAGA.
Okay.
What is MAGA?
MAGA is short for Marine Acquiring Gear Again. It's a junk removal and hauling business. I started it last year, so now we've crossed the 1 year anniversary, which is kind of all glory to God because I'm here now and we're doing this.
Right.
So it started because the truth is St. Lucie County, when I got back, my wife was in the Coast Guard, so she was getting out last summer. So when we were coming back, I needed something to start up. But St. Lucie County had this trash service that was messed up, that people had trash was getting picked up.
I get it.
3 weeks a month. So I said, I got a truck, and then next thing I know, I was like, if I can get a trailer and if it gets approved, then I know this is the next step by God. And then I did. And then it just gradually started growing with a little faith and more, and now I'm here.
So I guess you already gave me why you got into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to guess in your mind, it was just the path that was provided for you.
Yeah, I seen the times that was coming, and I said, like, if we come in a recession, this is a recession-proof kind of business because people continuously need to throw things out.
You have kids?
Yes, I got 2 boys,
okay,
7 and 5.
So your wife and the 2 boys, they give you support in what you did in making this change?
Yes, sir. I give support because when my wife was getting out, I blessed her with creating her LLC for mustard seed bakers. She was a baker in the Coast Guard.
Oh, okay.
Culinary specialist. So she was in the transition of like, what do you do when you get out? Because your life comes crashing down because you don't have that support system anymore in the military. So that led me to follow her footsteps because if I did it for her, I can do it for myself as well.
So what does she do now?
She's she owns her own business, so she's a custom cake and bake designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, up here locally.
And my wife is a very high-end chocolatier.
That's good.
Yeah, so she makes high-end chocolates and truffles and stuff like that. She doesn't really do baking. Christmas time she'll do some cookies and stuff, but she doesn't really do baking. And I always get asked about specialized cakes because I'm the go-to for everything because I've been around for so long.
You know a lot of people.
So I'm the go-to, and people know that I'm only going to bring on and deal with people and help them because they'll do what I tell them, not because I'm great, because they know I'll never do anything to hurt them. You know, and that's always been my belief is to be one to give back. So let's get back into your junk removal. So I call you up and I say, God forbid, a family member passed away.
Okay.
I live in New York. I need their house. Do you do clean out?
Yeah, we do estate cleanouts, garage cleanouts. I also do dumpster rentals. I've done some commercial work too. I do rent out my trailer for roofing when the roofing season is hot. Just because since I work for myself, I can dictate where my schedule is. So if I'm free and you need it, I can be there in a split second.
And you know, everybody has their own opinion about competition in business.
Mm-hmm.
I have other dumpster rental people that I deal with, and I've coined the phrase co-opetition because you're one person, so you can't do 5 jobs December 5th. So you find people that are like you, have the mindset that you, and they're in the same position, so they can't do 5 jobs on the same day. Mm-hmm. So you guys work with one another, and so that's co-opetition. Yeah. It's a friendly competition, but you want to help one another because there's enough for everybody.
I mean, God blessed it with me. I had this quick story. I had a 19-year-old kid reach out to me on Facebook middle of my first year, and he saw my truck through in St. Lucie County, and he reached out, wanted to start his own business. So I said, if you get a trailer, because he had a dually, I was like, you can start a business. And next thing you know, 2 months later, he started his business just because a 19-year-old kid took that leap to get an LLC. And then when I saw him one day on the job, I asked him, what's the difference between you and your friends? He's like, I got freedom, and they're in like a prison mentality because they're working for the man instead of working for
Well,
themselves.
they have a
So I
job.
gave back where like I don't have to be a gatekeeper, right? We're
Right.
not gatekeepers. We're here to share the information. If God bless you, share that blessing back.
Well, he has a job now, the
Hmm.
other guy. And,
And a bigger trailer than I do.
well, I'm not even talking about, I'm talking about his friends.
Yeah.
So they have a job, which is the acronym for just above broke,
Hmm.
okay? And they both, and I don't want to take away from it, they both have their benefit depending on the personality that you
Correct.
have. My brother and my dad, they were workers. They could not be an entrepreneur. Firstly, you have to be a little crazy to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. And if you have a brick and mortar, now in your case, it's not about a brick and mortar, but it's about a truck and a trailer, which is like a brick and mortar.
Correct.
You have to be a little crazier because you have insurance to pay,
Hmm.
gas, and a whole bunch of other stuff that
A
goes
lot
with
of
it.
fees that come to it. Yeah.
So let's talk about basically you. Someone has
So if you reach out to Maga
right,
Junk Removal and I answer, I'll ask you uh, if, depending on the size, you'll tell me what needs to be thrown out just so I can dictate that. And if it's a possibility, you can send me a photo because we live in the technology era. A quick photo
right.
can give you like a good estimate between it can be a little higher or lower. But I also do free estimates where I just show up, look at it in person, kind of give you the runaround because trying to do it over the phone and texting kind of gets misleading.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because the person might forget. So I'd rather just knock it out right away.
But there's more to. Like, I don't think people understand what junk removal is and clean out is, because you just don't come to the house and load up your truck and it's done. You have to go and dump the stuff,
Hmm.
and there's a fee for dumping
Correct.
and gas.
Yes.
Okay, you're not driving a smart car.
No. Wear and
So,
tear. I'm driving a big pickup truck too.
okay,
Yeah.
so those are things that people need to understand when you're billing them. And the other thing is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there are certain items that you can bring to the dump, but there are items that you cannot bring to the dump.
Correct.
Okay, like I don't know that bringing car batteries is something that the dump really takes.
No.
I don't know that they
Hazardous
take
material.
tires.
Tires I usually take to the scrapyard.
Okay, and then the other thing that I learned is paint, liquid paint. You can't dump.
Nope.
But they make a powder or something that you can put in the can and it dries it out.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. So when you go do a clean out, not everything is junk.
Correct. No.
So what do you do with the stuff that's not junk?
So what I do is I try to find either like my wife's on local moms pages. So
Okay.
sometimes if there's something that is like looks decent enough that could be donated to someone that needs it. For instance, did a moval to a storage unit for a family member, and she was giving away free stuff, but the couple came in a Tacoma, so I came in the trailer with the Jesus truck and gave them an opportunity. I was like, look, I'm not going to charge you. I'm just going to bless you because you guys came out of an RV into a 3-bedroom home. You don't have anything. So I helped them move everything that was going to fit in the Tacoma into the trailer. And it was like 20 minutes away. But I felt like that was going to be good because sometimes you don't need to get paid. Sometimes it's just a good helping hand in the community because I also serve this country. So I feel like it's also my duty to serve the communities and get to know me.
And you do get paid, but
Yeah.
indirectly there's a way to get paid. You know, you just saw the young lady that was here.
Hmm.
Okay, just started, doesn't have a lot of money, single mom. She does tinting. So you know what? I said to her, you know what? You can tint my windows. Okay, I'll take that off of your price.
Right.
Okay.
Given an opportunity.
I said, don't worry about the difference in money right now, because it's my job. The reason I'm successful is because I give back. Okay, you know, I don't know that we would be where we're at if we didn't give back. If we would have the
Right.
blessing that we have if we didn't give back. What's the strangest item you ever came across?
Man, strange item. This was crazy. So, strangest item I came across was, you ever looked at those electrical chairs that have the metal knobs on the side. So like if someone really wanted to, like medieval times, like strap them up.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I seen those chairs, and it was yeah. I didn't had no. You can't answer questions, you know. So I was a lot of things go in your mind, and
Right.
just seeing a person in a chair that's like this with straps, because a lot of it has metal plates. So I was like, this looks like an electrocution chair, and I was like, it's Florida, so some Florida man is doing something out here that we not. But
Not your problem.
hey, I just
Not
get told, just tell me
not your
what I need
monkey,
to
not
throw
your
out,
circus.
and then I'm gone.
Right. So, have you ever found anything of super value?
Super value so far. Some couches, but nothing like super valuable where it's not, because usually it's trash. I would say vinyls. If things that people are throwing away that are like antique, certain those things I would keep just because if I just throw it up on eBay or because in the
Right.
resale game you can resell a lot of things
Yep. And
and they're worth money because everything on back in the old days is now trendy now, so
right.
everyone wants to have everything that's old.
And it's interesting. One person's junk is another person's treasure,
Yes, sir.
and they can use it. And when you came up with MAGA, okay, my mind goes through, and I'm not a big video game player, but goes through video games where you see this, you need to pick this item up because you need to have it.
Hmm.
Pick this item up, you need to have it. So you gotta actually acquire all these things to get through the game.
Yeah, correct.
So the MAGA just seemed so interesting when you said that.
Hmm.
I'm like, yeah, that would.
And I'm just a Marine acquiring another piece of gear every time I do a job again.
Right. And I think, I hate to say it this way, but when you're in the military and you take over something from the enemy, there's stuff that is left there that
Sure.
can be used for you and you would need. Interesting philosophy. And again, I learned so much. And a part of me says when I was old enough to go in the military, I missed, it was a draft at that point. I missed the number by a year. My brother got it, but he had a far number off. Back then, I would have seen it so much different than I see it today. But I think it's so cool how you get connected with somebody,
Hmm.
okay? And we were talking before we even got on the air about Christ Fellowship.
Right.
You go to the one here, I go to the one there, but we saw the same sermon.
The same message
Yeah.
comes across, and you just emulate it together.
Yeah, but this weekend we saw the same sermon, which was kind of crazy and fast paced, and she could go on forever.
Yeah.
Okay, but for me, and I hate to get off that you're here for MAGA, but it's all part of who you are.
Correct.
For me, it's like there's always something in a sermon that I can pull something positive out of that works in my world. Do you get a lot of people that call you from another state because their family members are down here, and God forbid somebody passes or
Yeah,
goes into
I've had
a
a few.
facility?
I've had a few that have called me. A couple from Arizona. I had a residential company or a real estate company that called me from Texas that used me twice for a dumpster rental, twice in 1 week, and they didn't have anyone, so they saw me and they called me, and I was like, yeah, I'm available. And those are good experience to have for the next one, right? God
Right.
gives you a first experience just for you to learn upon that.
I tell that constantly to people that come on the job here. Break the ice, get your first one out there. You'll feel so much better. And I get it because it was for me the same way. I remember when I did my first interview, and I was a little nerve-wracked. Now I've done 70,000, so it's like second nature to
Yes,
me.
sir.
And I don't buy into the channel 12, 25, 5 way of interviewing. Okay? I knew nothing about you till you walked into the door here. As I learned, everybody else learned. And though some of it got off of your company, but it showed people who you are. Okay? And you're going to someone's house, you're dealing with their stuff. You cannot feel comfortable, first of all, with a guy who served the country,
Yeah, you got a Marine coming to your house.
okay,
Yeah.
and that has the belief system that you have, which is give back, and that's what we're here for. And I totally get it. What do you see the future for your company? Do you want to get more trucks? Do you want to,
So in the future, what I was telling my wife was I want to get a couple more trucks because when you see it, it's a big black pickup truck that has the Jesus decal. So I kind of want like a fleet, like minimum of 5 within the next 5 years, a good ratio, and then have multiple sizes of dumpster trailers. So whenever you're up and down the US 1 or in Martin County, St. Lucie County, you're always seeing the MAGA trailer being pulled by a Jesus truck at every given moment. So it could be me because it's tenant, or it could be someone else that's within the family that's also helping me out too.
Do you have help now?
Yeah, I have one family member that helps me out. But yeah, I mean, my wife helps me out sometimes too. Yeah. I mean, she's Coast Guard, so she's military too. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
You drag her out?
Sometimes, yeah, I help her with her business, so it's just it's a mutual.
I get it. I help
Yeah.
my wife with the chocolate company.
Our success is, her success is my success.
That's right. That's so true. How do people find you?
If you
You
go
have a
on,
website?
yeah, I have a website, www.magajunkremoval.com. If you're on Instagram, it's Trail Boss Jesus. I just put all the content of the truck and the trailer every time I do a job. And
You have a phone number right now.
his phone number is 716-201-8030. That's a New York number because I'm from Buffalo.
Okay.
I meet a lot of Buffalonians down here too, which is cool. So when I come up,
I'm a Brooklyn and Jersey boy.
yeah,
So I run into people constantly that knew of. I had some bars up in Jersey, and I did a lot of real estate and commercial real estate in Jersey, and they knew me from there. I even ran into a gym teacher that I had in 6th grade. Okay, down here. He was down here. Everybody seems to end up down
a
here.
lot of people.
Yep.
And then when they see me or that I pull up and I got my Bills hat, they go Bills. So that's a icebreaker right there, or
Right.
if the Marine status, or just Jesus allows any ice to be broken. Just
So I've interviewed Jimmy Buffett 2 times,
great.
and he's passed away.
Yeah.
And we as a group made a commitment to the end of the month to wear Parrot Head clothes.
That's cool.
My radio station in the car is Margaritaville on XM, and that's all it plays. We don't change it off of the car to the end of the month. Those are things we do. And you're right, we've run into things that we do for a reason. I sit on a crisis line for adult sexual abuse survivors because I am one. I believe that everybody goes back in a different way, and everybody deals with things in a different way. I can't, for me, I wasn't in the military, and yet I know how important it is. Now on our YouTube channel runs a piece with a sheriff's deputy from here
Okay.
that was at 911, at
Wow.
9/11,
Yeah.
and told his story. And it was
Which
important.
today is 9/11.
Yeah, that's why we did it.
Yeah. Never forget.
Okay, and I don't think first responders and military get the blessings that they should get.
No, because the country is upside down now. So the spirit in Florida, you'll see tremendously when I drive, because I got 2 big flags on the back of my pickup, the Trump 2024 and a Marine Corps black flag that's red, white, and blue that symbolizes the 13 Marines that died 2 years ago at Kabul.
Hmm.
So that's why I fly that one, because
that's something, a belief that you have,
Yep.
and it's within you.
brothers and
that you
sisters
feel
died
good.
for this freedom.
Yep.
So
We're running out of time. What's the phone number again?
716-201-8030.
Well,
God bless you, brother.
everybody, check them out. If you have any questions, and I tell you this all the time, first of all, one is always use a professional. If you don't use a professional, it's going to cost you 5 times more in money and 10 times more in aggravation. And 2 is pick up the phone and call him. He'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have, because some people get confused. Well, should I just bring the stuff to the curb or not? If you bring it to the curb in your home, it could sit there for who knows how long, and some things they won't pick up. So why would you want your property to look like that? You got to look a little deeper into everything. And I give you the ability to talk to people who are willing to help you out. It doesn't cost anything to pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, this is my situation. What's the best way to handle it? Everybody, we're out of here. We'll be right back. Have a great day.
Go Bills.